Hey guys, this is IXRollOutIX with LEGO Gundam Double O Riser version 2. Now, the Double O Gundam has changed so much that I'm not sure what I've already showed you, so I'm pretty much just going to show you the whole thing all over again. Here we have the Double O Gundam. It's looking pretty cool. Let's just start from the bottom down. Now, this thing's a lot more solid than before. It's got ratchets all throughout the legs. The feet go forward and back, 1 click. 3 clicks in total. This bottom section goes 2 clicks. And this bottom section goes 3 clicks, giving you a little over a 90-degree bend. The legs are double paneled. They're armored on either side. Here's a look at the back of the leg. The waist, these skirts have been changed a bit. It's got the connection port under there for the stand. These side skirts here can move like this and slide down so that you can bring the leg out this far. These skirts hinder the front movement a little bit, so they can only go this far, but that's fine. They can go back about that far. Bring these skirts down just to get them out of the way. The waist section can go side to side, forward and back, and a little bit left and right. This whole front section has been tiled, so they're very smooth now. These are very different. This whole white section is a lot better. It's got 2 white levers wedged in there, which make the fins accurately point upward, as they should. The arms are a lot more solid. This whole section looks similar, but is entirely different. It's a lot more secure. There is many pieces in this assembly right here which make this whole section very, very secure for one reason, and one reason alone that I'll get to. There are 2 connection points at the elbow, which allow tighter movement here, and there's a bit of flex tube in there which makes this joint here a lot tighter. Now you'll notice the headlight bricks there are backwards. For some reason, when they're backwards, the connection from here to here is a lot tighter than the opposite way around. But the arms go forward and back and in and out very smoothly. And the elbow bends a little under 90 degrees, but you can actually take this pneumatic tee and slide it out of the joint a little bit to give it more motion. The hands and lower arm are pretty much exactly the same, and the wrist can rotate. The binders now are a little less mobile, but a lot more secure, and that really helps in Double O Riser form. They used to have a rotation up here and a rotation down here, and both of those have been scrapped. There's also a tile up here, making it look a lot more flush and smooth. They move in and out here, occasionally popping off. And they come up here on a soft ratchet and come back on a soft ratchet. So they are very, very solid. Now, let's take a look at the back. Pretty much exactly the same. It's got the beam sabers down here and the little bit there. These are tiled, and there's not a lot of difference back here. Now, probably the most different thing out of this whole rehash of a model is the head. The head has been changed entirely. This is also the most recent change. It's a little more compact, a little more aerodynamic. It still goes side to side and up and down on a robot arm there. A Travis brick holds the whole thing together, and you can see down there that some minifigure hands are wedging a piece of flex tube in, and there is also a cheese slope. Very nice looking. It's also much better to look at the back. It's got the yellow collar around here, and overall the whole thing just looks a lot better. So let's take a look at the O Riser. So here we have the O Riser. Let's take it off the stand. It looks a lot better. The tiles replacing the plates make it look a lot better, a lot more streamlined, I think. It's a little more bulky, but that's fine. It's, like I said, got the little bits in there. So a little tiny bit of blue in the wing section, which is accurate. This whole piece here looks a lot more blocky and a lot more solid. It's got these little bits here, whereas everything else is pretty much flat. It's got the orange sensor, not the cockpit, by the way. And underneath, it's got this piece here that secures these in place. And I think that's all that's different in the undercarriage. Now the binders still pop off. They've got an extra little half pin in there, and the wings are attached very differently. I believe the whole binder is kind of been redone, has a little bit more of a different structure than the last time I've showed you, but it still looks pretty cool. Both of the binders come off, and the O Riser can be split into 3 sections. Now, it still has the transformation. This comes down just as before, and then this soft ratchet comes down here. Now, before there was a little less clearance in here, so that when you bent this section down on the soft ratchet, this whole section in here wasn't connected all of the way. It was kind of a little bit raised because there wasn't enough clearance. Well, now there is. Also, this stabilization piece in here hinders the riser nose section here from going down any further than this, which is accurate. I don't think it does go down any more than this in the show, but I could be wrong. It's got the 4 connection points here that plug into the back of the Double O Gundam. So, let's take a look at accessories before we combine the two. Now, the Gundam has a few new accessories. First off, we'll start with the old ones. I still have these swords here, but I hardly ever use them. I've actually replaced the skirt armor with just flat tiles rather than jumper plates, because I don't even put these on the hips anymore. I could if I wanted to, I still have them, but these weapons are very brittle. The connection on all of the pieces is not very good in the least, so I tend not to even give these to him. Now, my weapon of choice for the Gundam is the new and improved beam saber. Now it's made a lot more simple. Before it was a ton of pink cylinders, and now it's as simple as a piece of red flex tube. Now, beam sabers are supposed to be pink, but I don't know, in the right light, this does look kind of like a pink color. I might be crazy, but it works. So, just come back here, pull the beam saber off, it fits into the hand just as it did before, except now the saber of the beam saber is a lot lighter, so he can wield it a lot easier. Just plug that back on. Occasionally tends to fall out, but there he is with the beam saber. It curves a little bit, but that's Flex Tube for you. The second new weapon is mostly utilized in Riser form rather than just the normal Gundam form, but I'm going to show it to you now because the Riser parts do tend to get in the way if I tried to put it on then. This weapon is, of course, the Geon Sword 3. Now, I did make a Geon Sword 1 and 2 for the Exia, except they were heavily customized. This, however, and this whole thing now, actually, has been and is now entirely purist. So, there are no cut or glued parts in this thing entirely, other than Flex Tube, but that is considered purist to cut, because it has been cut in several sets, or other sets require you to cut it. Now, the sword is in gun mode here. Decent looking. It doesn't have the blue guard here, but that's fine. I like the simplicity of the whole thing. It's entirely black here, and then white and green. Now, the blade does swing forward, like so. It's a very, very big and awesome weapon, but it can be unwieldy at times. So, you have to reposition the thumb to allow him to wield it. Let's take off the thumb, or the hand, so you can see it better. And then you just should be able to slide the sword in like that. Now, the arms are more solid for this weapon, and really this weapon alone. You can take this and swing this back along the arm for gun mode, and now that the arms are a lot more solid, he can actually hold this very successfully. I'm going to take these binders and bring them back to show you better, but you can take this, you can even bring this all the way forward, and he can hold that without much problem. He has a little bit of weight issues while doing this, but when he's on the stand, that will be entirely depleted. But just the fact that his arms are strong enough to do this is very cool. He can bring it all the way above his head. Can't really see that, but he can do it. He can bring it, should be able to bring it, all the way outward like this. Put that back on there. And really you can do anything you want with this sword. The arms are strong enough to stabilize it in pretty much any way. And of course you can, well, the hand just popped off, but you can take this and convert it into gun mode and have him shoot ya with that. So, let's convert this guy into Double O Riser form. Now, the first thing you're going to do to turn it into the Double O Riser is put him up on the stand. Now, his legs are strong enough now with the soft ratchets that he can stand perfectly fine with the O Riser parts on him, just on the table. But for the sake of the video, I'm putting him up on the stand. Now, one thing I want to say is that he's got this clip here now that goes into this section, which makes him a lot more solid on the stand. It attaches at 2 points now, rather than just the one. Before, he would fall off the stand due to the back heaviness of the O Riser on a whim. Another thing is that this binder has a half pin there that attaches here, as well as the GN drive attaches here, attaching at 2 points, making the whole thing a lot more solid again. So, we have our O Riser parts. Let's combine. So, this just attaches here. It's a little weighted to the side at the moment, but that'll be fixed with this. So just get that aligned, and these can actually just come up. I've found a lot more solid pins in there, and yeah, you can do this without any problem at all. It's very solid. You won't get a lot of problems. Come back here. This just attaches again. Here, you have to bring the whole waist forward to allow clearance, but it's just as simple as that. Yeah, we're going to knock off something inevitably in this video, but then we can kind of bring this down here and get him a little situated. And there you have the Double O Riser. Now, this looks a lot better, I think. It's a lot more solid. You can see I'm just spinning it around. It's not really going to collapse at any time like it would before. Now, this back section here does not attach in anywhere like it did before, but it still brings the whole waist a little bit forward, which limits the movement in the waist. Now, there is only a ball joint in the waist, and the limitation in movement actually makes the whole body section a lot more solid. If that ball joint was free, he would flop back a lot, and that's no good. So, we'll, I guess, give him the GN Sword 3. Just slide this in if we can. Plug that back on there. You don't have to take the hands off. It's just easier. And then let's pull a beam saber off here. Plug on the beam. Position the thumb properly and slide this in. Give him a beam saber there. And we will call it a day. And I'll pop another beam saber off, why not? Let's put that back on there. So, there is the Double O Riser version 2. And this is IXRollOutIX, signing off.